Welcome to part 3 of me trying out crazy experiments with the brand new Nintendo Switch 2. All of today's experiments are brought to you by you! Yeah, you left me some pretty good comments. So, let's get going, shall we? What happens if you plug two left Joy-Cons at the same time? So we already know that those two Joy-Cons can be detached and can be reattached in pretty much any configuration ever, and they are still going to be detected by the Nintendo Switch 2. But do you wonder what happens if we plug in not one, but two left Joy-Con? Well, let's plug in the first one on the left side, and let's grab the second left Joy-Con and put it that way. What happens? Well, from what we can tell, the system doesn't really see the Joy-Con that is plugged backwards. Like, sure, it is fitting in the console alright, but yeah, that's pretty much it. It doesn't show up and it doesn't work if we push buttons or anything. It's pretty much useless. What happens if you plug two right Joy-Cons at the same time? You knew I was gonna try it, right? So I don't know about you, but I am expecting the exact same results. So let's plug both of the Joy-Con, and as you can see, they're right there. And if we look at the screen, there's only one. So yeah, it's the exact same result. What a shock. What happens if you plug two different USB cameras at the same time? So in a previous video, we already established that we don't need to use the Nintendo Switch 2 official camera, as any USB camera will fit. But here's the thing, what if we plug both at the same time? Let's start by plugging the official camera. And it works fine as expected. But now, we are gonna plug the second one. So as you can see, it is plugged into the dock, but the light doesn't show up. So there's only the first one that works, but what if we unplug it? Alright, let's remove it, bada bing bada boom. And it instantly switches to the second one. See, it lit up instantly. I just wonder if we plug it back, will it switch again? No, it didn't switch, it's still using the USB camera. So basically, it is always gonna be using the first one that you plug in. And if you unplug one, well, it's just gonna switch by default on the second one. Can you connect a Joy-Con 1 and a Joy-Con 2 together as a single controller? The Nintendo Switch 2 is compatible with the accessories from the Nintendo Switch 1, provided you pair them using Bluetooth. Normally you want to use two Joy-Con 2 or two Joy-Con 1 to play, but can you combine those? We're back in the traditional controller setup, so let's push the pairing button on the Joy-Con 2, the left one, and then let's push the pair button on the Joy-Con 1, the right one. Okay, it is paired, and let's push L and R. Oh, bada bing bada boom, we have this monstrosity. It kinda looks wrong, but truth is, it actually works. And since it's the same buttons you're using, everything seems to be working great. Why would you want to play that way? I don't know, maybe if you lose one of the Joy-Con 2, at least you have a backup? Can you plug a USB mouse instead of using the Joy-Con 2 mouse mode? So one of the cool new features of the Joy-Con 2 is that you can use them as a mouse. As you can see, there's a cursor, you can play around, you can move the things, and you can even click on games. Everything works pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. But what if I don't want to use a mouse like this? What if I want to use a mouse like this? So I just plugged in the USB mouse in the dock for the Nintendo Switch 2, and as I'm moving it, you can see there is no cursor at all. It doesn't work on the menu. I actually read that mouse and keyboard actually works in some Switch 2 games like Cyberpunk, but in terms of navigating the menu, it's just not working at all. Can you get your hands stuck in the Joy-Con magnets? I'm not gonna lie, I'm not so sure how you can get your hands stuck by clipping the Joy-Con onto the Switch 2, but I guess if I decide to put my finger right here and then I try to clip it, maybe it could hurt me, maybe? Yes, it is starting to be stuck a little bit. You can see my finger is in between the magnet and it is hurting a little bit. But I can just do this and I'm gonna be safe. So technically, yes, you can get your finger stuck on the magnet. But I mean, it's pretty easy to just do this and this. Just don't put your fingers there. What happens if you remove the SD card while the Switch 2 is on? Ah, this one's a classic. What happens if we remove the SD card while the Switch is accessing it? Well, the SD card is right here and my Switch is on right now, so let's clippity clip. I removed it. And let's see what the Switch says. We have a very tragic message. The micro SD card has been removed, the system is about to turn off. Always turn off the power before inserting or removing the micro SD card. The only options we have right now is to power off the console, and this is what we're gonna be doing. And I guess we're just gonna have to reboot it and see if everything is good. Yeah, it just rebooted and everything works fine. So I suppose do not do that, but if you do it, well, it's not that bad. It is now time to do it in a way that you probably shouldn't do it. So let's grab a random game. Let's go for Resident Evil 5. Let's load it on the system and it's going to start downloading to my SD card. So as you can see, I still have an hour of this to go, but ain't nobody got time for this. I'm removing the SD card while it is downloading. Here we go. Okay, classic error. What happens if we turn it back on? Will Resident Evil 5 be corrupted? Well, the Switch 2 is responding, it is rebooting, and if I start up, there is this little message here. Unable to access micro SD card. Oh, okay. Well, that's ooh, there was a problem and the download had to stop. Please restart the download. Okay. Download cancelled. There were a lot of messages that popped up, but if I try to... yeah, okay. Let's try again. Hey, it works! It's going back on the SD card. Hooray! And it's even downloading faster now. So yeah, I wouldn't do that if I were you, but once again, if you decide to try this experiment, well, you might be lucky and everything could be all good. Could also corrupt all your data. Maybe don't try this at home? What happens if you try to go online on a Switch 2 and a Switch 1 at the same time? At first this may seem like a dumb question, but I'm actually curious. What if I'm playing like Mario Kart World online on Switch 2 and then I want to play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe online on Switch 1 using the same profile? What's gonna happen? Alright, let me grab my Mario Kart World and boot it up. Okay, and now I'm also launching Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the OG Switch. Let's go to online play and try to connect and see what happens. I'm connected. Alright, I guess worldwide versus race and everything seems to work. Alright, and on the Switch 2 I'm also gonna go race. Let's grab baby Luigi and let's just grab anything. I just want to play. Well, it seems like it is actually possible to be playing 2 online games at once, because I am the same profile playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I'm spectating, and same thing for Mario Kart World, I'm also spectating, I'm waiting for, you know, opponents to join. But yeah, I'm not getting kicked on either console, so as long as it's a different game, I suppose you can play them both at the same time. What happens if you plug a Switch 2 with a Switch 1? You see those 2 switches? We're gonna run a USB-C cable between both of them and see what happens. Alright, so let's keep this experiment simple. We got the cable, we got both consoles. We're gonna just, oh, it's under there. We're gonna plug one here, and then we're gonna plug the other here. Who's charging who? No one's charging no one. Nothing's happening. It's kind of a lame result, isn't it? Can you use the Switch 2 camera on your PC? I mean, it's a USB camera, so it should work, technically. So I just plugged in the camera using USB-C, and there's no light, but if I actually turn this thing on, well, there's lights now, and is it working? Well, yes, it is working. Yeah, I'm using this on the PC, and I mean, the quality is actually quite decent. It's a bit better than what we can see on Switch 2, but yeah, I think it's not the best camera in the world, but it's decent. For your Zoom calls, it's gonna be more than enough. What happens if you hold left on the control stick while launching the Nintendo Switch Online Gamecube app? Alright, this one is oddly specific. It's just because I want to show you an Easter egg from the Gamecube app. So typically, if you launch the Nintendo Gamecube app, well, this is what happens. Classic startup sound. Now let's launch it, but we're gonna be holding the left control stick while it does launch. Yo, the classic GameCube intro. I love this. But there's another Easter egg. This time we're gonna launch it, but we're gonna be pushing ZR and R at the same time. But only when the Joy-Cons in the Switch 2 logo are clapping. Oh, it's the second intro. That's pretty cool. And last but not least, if we push ZR and R while it's booting on 4 different controllers, we're getting this. This is such a cool homage to the GameCube. I think we can safely say that this baby has suffered enough for these videos. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't watched part 1 or part 2, they're gonna be linked right there, so you can go ahead and check them out. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go play some games now. Bye bye.